Hey, my brothers and sisters. Brother Billy. Brother Billy was just sitting here thinking about the battle between God and Satan. Just sitting here reading Book of Joshua and just looking at um, all of the different battles that were taking place all throughout the Old Testament. You read about all the different battles that God directed His people to engage in and to destroy His enemies. And so one of the things I just began to think about is what is the battle between God and Satan? What is this battle all about? Because when you think about it, God, who is omnipotent, He's all powerful. And so if God is all powerful, and He is, who could rival His power? Is there any creature? Is there anything? Is there anyone that can actually challenge His power? Who? That Satan himself, a high-ranking cherubim, cannot challenge the power of God. He, God has no challengers as it relates to His power. I mean, He could destroy with just the words of His mouth, can destroy His enemies. So there is absolutely no challenger as it relates to His power. So now the question becomes, and the question and the thing I'm pondering is, okay, so what is this battle all about between God and Satan? What is this battle about? Because we can rule out power, right? The so if the battle is not about power, if this struggle, if this conflict between God and Satan is not about power, then what is it about? This conflict, I believe, is about character. Mhm. What you mean, Brother Billy? Um, the Bible teaches us and tells us a lot about God. The Bible tells us God loves His creation. The Bible teaches that God loves and cares for us deeply, in so much that He became flesh, died. He took upon Himself the form of a servant, and He died in our place, in our stead. Why? Because of His love. So now, when you look at this struggle, which has to do with the nature and character of God, what does Satan do to combat that? To combat God's love, to combat what the Bible tells us about the God of the Bible. Well, Satan comes and says, well, if God love you, sister, if God love you, brother, then why did He let your baby die? I mean, if He really loved you, why did He let your little baby girl die? Why did He let your baby boy die? If she was only this 2 years old, he was only 5. Why did He let them die? And look at the manner in which He allowed them to die. How could He be a God of love? How? You how? If He loved you, He wouldn't have let this happen. That is the main power struggle, battle, conflict going on between heaven and hell. Mhm. Satan is trying to get us, is trying to get people to believe things about God that are not true, to doubt his character, to doubt his love, to doubt his mercy, to doubt that he even cares for his creation. Because after all, if God cared about y'all, I mean, look around you. Just look around you. Look at the world. Everything is falling apart. I mean, just look at the hate. Look at the evil. Look at the injustice. I mean, look at all of this stuff that is taking place. If God is all powerful, all knowing, and all loving, like you say, why is he allowing all this to happen? That's Satan. That's the battle. The battle is in the mind, is of the mind. The battle is to get you to think one way about God and a way to get you to think about um a way about God that is contrary to what the Bible reveals to us. Mhm. That's the battle. The battle is of the mind. Mhm. So it is not a power struggle. It ain't about power because God has no rival. He has no rival. It is about his character. Satan wants you to doubt that God is a good God. Let me close with this. You remember the you know the story of the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve was placed in this beautiful garden by God. They didn't have to do nothing but just tend the garden, just love God, just eat what they want, just enjoy themselves in this garden. Here comes Satan. Here comes Satan. God tells them, first of all, of every tree of this garden, you may freely eat. You look at all these trees I planted in here for you. Eat of all of them. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, don't eat of that tree. Just that one right there. Just leave that one alone. Mhm. Satan comes along and says, "What hath God said? Hath God said you shall not eat of this tree?" And then he's having this conversation with Eve. And he said, "Well, yeah." He said, "Don't eat it and don't touch it. And if we touch it, we're gonna die." And Satan, what does Satan say? Well, I mean, what did he challenge? God's power? No, he challenged God's character. Well, see, the reason God don't want you to eat of that tree, he's trying to keep something from you. See, if God really loved you, like I care for you, if he really did, he wouldn't be trying to restrict and keep things from you. What's wrong with, look at this tree. What's wrong with it? Ain't it look like it's good for food and good to eat? What's wrong with the tree? There's nothing wrong with this tree. Why God keeping this? I mean, this tree looked just as good as all the other trees. The fruits on it look just as good. Why is he keeping this one from you? But all them trees in the garden, they could have eat of them. And God said, don't just don't mess with this one. Even the tree of life. You understand that the tree of life was in the garden and they could partake of the tree of life before they fell? You understand that? They could have eaten of the tree of life. The only tree that was forbidden is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But Satan challenged God's character. God doesn't really care. If he really cared, he wouldn't be keeping this from you. That is the battle, my sisters and brothers. Don't let Satan taint you, taint your view, taint your mind of the nature and character of God. God loves you. God cares for you. He cares for me. That's the battle going on. Fight the good fight of faith. Be blessed.